Hey, what's going on here, folks? Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, consider subscribing. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. Well, my videos are obviously not crazy and extravagant. I do try to make some helpful content and something you may learn from. Obviously, some of my old Tacoma content, you guys that watch that, I'm sure some of them videos were pretty useful for you guys. But I will say today this one's going to be basically in a how-to to use a youcut video editor. So I'm actually going to do a a layout on how to do this and how to use it for the basics. Anybody that's looking to start off a YouTube channel, or maybe you fly drones and you want to edit some of your videos of your drones, this would be a perfect beginner's video. And again, while I don't have all this crazy content, I try to put this out here to attract viewers that are basically doing the same thing that I do. So if you do start a YouTube channel, I will also subscribe to your channel. And it's kind of like a revolving circle. Anyway, I'm not going to babble on forever, so we're going to get right into this on youcut. And I really recommend this. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I recommend it because it's very simple. You can just start off with any simple phone to use this. It's very simple to very simple to use out of all the other ones that I've tried. So here we go, and we'll get right into it. Okay, folks, so here's my home screen on my Note 23 Ultra. And first off, if you are actually going to do this, you're going to want to actually go into the Play Store for your Android or Apple product, and you're going to want to download the video app called youcut. So here it is actually in my Google combination bubble down here. I'm going to go ahead and click in it. So if you've got that all downloaded, we'll see here, you'll see the orange icon, and it's youcut video editor there with the scissors. We'll go ahead and click on that. And if you first take a look up at the top, I've got youcut Pro. So I actually paid $20 for the year. And this basically allows you to do the video editing without any ads. And it also allows you to do more than 20 clips to the video. So once you start getting so many videos and you want to edit them, I don't have any, again, wild and extravagant videos out there, but I have got to the point where I've done more than 20 clips, so I did pay for it. And it's also nice to not have the ads pop up every second. But if you are just starting off and you want to fool around with this and you're just doing some drone footage and you want to edit a few of them clips, it's great to just start off with even just watching an ad just to see how it works and to learn yourself without paying for it. So that is that with the Pro there. You may not see that. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to click, if you see the plus icon in the middle of the screen, we'll go ahead and we'll click on that. So as you can see, three little icons popped up. We've got new project, and then next we've actually got a previous video, and then we've got drafts of previous things that I've actually done. So today we're going to actually go into new project there in the orange. And if you see what pops up here, so we've got my previous video, or some of my videos that are actually stored in my phone. So if I was going to do drone content, I have to take them from my DJI Mini 3 Pro and put them in here. And obviously it has to come over from the phone, or from the drone to the phone. I have to transfer them. So moving on here, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to pick 3 today so I can give you an example. So we'll pick one, and it's either sequence that you want to do. So I'll pick these 3 videos, and there's no sound in this, and I'm just picking these with no sound because as soon as I play them on this recording the screen right now, it's just gonna start making a bunch of noise, and it's gonna be over my voice. So I picked them 3, and if you go down to the bottom of the screen, you got the little orange arrow on the right hand side. We'll go ahead and click that, and that's gonna basically send these videos into where the magic happens. So here we are, and if you go to the bottom of the screen, you can kind of see, you can just kind of scroll through your videos. You can see where the clips actually end and continue to another one. And you can fast scroll through it all the way to the end, so you can kind of see what you have there. And one of the hardest parts I learned of actually putting everything into a sequence is when you get about 35 clips, you got to really think about where you have to put and what time you recorded it, because you're not always going to record it at the perfect time. So that's one of the biggest things that I think is a challenge in video editing. And I'm sure when it's on a laptop, it's a little different, but I will show you a few things that will help you out with that. But first, let's start simple. And while I haven't used every single option in here, I'm going to start off with, if you see the little scissors in the bottom of the left-hand corner of the screen, it says trim there. So this is going to allow you to trim each individual clip in the video. So we'll hit clip here, or trim. So this is the first clip of the basically drone footage of waterfall in the Somerset, Vermont. So if you wanted to say if you look at this bar, there's actually a little dot on the bottom. You can slide this. You'll see me slide it. So for some reason, you just didn't want the footage of the river right there. You want to start right here. You slide that bar is shown there. And that's going to, basically when you play the video, it's going to start right there. And you can see the line of the bar go across the screen. And it's the same on the end side of the video. If you want to shorten it up and just say you didn't want to show, you just didn't want to show the lake, so you can just go ahead and shorten it up so it ends right there on the footage of the rock and grass, whatever you want to call it there. And then from start to beginning, you'll go ahead and push play, just to give you an example of how it's actually going to shorten it up. There's also other options too, and I haven't fooled around with them. But again, I'm just showing you the basics and how to get started here. So there's cut and there's split. So there is them two options I haven't really fooled around with. But we'll go ahead and we'll just actually check this. So we're going to add it to the video. And now you can go ahead and play your first clip. And you can see how it shortens it up. We'll pause it right there. And while we're actually coming up to it, so if you see the little pencil between the two clips on the bottom, it's actually a little white box with a square, or a little, it looks like a little pencil there. So this is going to separate your clips, and it's actually going to show how they merge together. So we'll go ahead and click on this. So now if you want to fade the two videos together, basically the fade that comes with it is just a real quick fade. It doesn't actually go up, down, or left or right or anything like that. It just kind of goes right to the next video. But if you see clicking on fade B there, you can kind of see how it transitions a little different. So we'll click on a few just to give you an example. It's going to fade. You got one that'll fade up and down, and depending on your preference, maybe depending on the type of video you're doing, that's how it's actually going to go. And whatever one you choose, you can actually do the time on it, so you can slow it down, and you can, or actually speed it up, or you can make it real slow. So we'll just leave it right in the middle here. Just slide the bar, and you can see down there the time. So there is still a few more options in here, and this is, again, it is the basics. Glitch, slide, style. So there's more. There's sport, there's light, so there's all kinds of things you can add to this. But again, these are the basics, and you're going to want to, obviously, you're going to want to concentrate on the basics, especially if you're just starting off. And, you know, time, just like me, I'm learning myself. So everything I've done on my own. That's what's great about it's actually, you're kind of self-teaching yourself. You watch a few videos, you go on there, you put some videos in, and you just fool around with them and learn when your free time is available. So we'll go ahead and we'll click the check mark. And we'll go ahead and start off. So we'll play the video, and you'll see a transition. You'll see the clip merge from that to the other one. And that kind of goes from there. So next off, we'll talk about the music icon on the bottom of the screen there on the left. So if you click on the little music note, so I've got under here my music, and keep in mind you have to have copyright-free music, so you have to have it. You can't just go and download like Green Day or one of the famous artists that's out there today. You have to have something that either one, you have to pay for the music, and you also have to give the artist credit. So keep that in mind, because if you are uploading to YouTube or any other social media platforms out there, you will get a copyright penalty. They will actually penalize you depending on how your channel works. So I'm going to just click on something to give you a quick example. Well, I'm not going to actually add this because it's going to play over my voice. I'm just going to click it real quick. So it gives you a quick example of the track. And then if you look down the bottom, there's two little orange bars. And again, it's going to play some music, but you can adjust the time. So we're going to click right out of that for now. So you have the option, and then you have the option to adjust the time of when it begins and when it ends in the actual video by the minutes at the bottom of the screen. And then once you've done that, or you picked what you want to use, you're going to actually click the use, which I'm not going to click the use because I'm not going to play the video when it comes to talking over. You know, I'm trying to talk in the video, so I'm not going to actually add the music to this specific video that I'm editing. But it will also, once you've clicked use, you will see it'll give you the option to fade the music in and out. So we'll just back out of this one, but it does give you the option to fade the music on and fade the music off. So we'll back up here. Next thing we're going to talk about is a filter. So click on the filter at the bottom there, and you will see there's different ones. So like this one, for instance, it kind of looks like it basically turns stuff dark, or it kind of looks like more like a black and white. So I've never used any filters, but if you want to spruce up something, say you got a dark cloudy day and maybe you want to make it a little brighter, you want to add a little color, you want it just natural. It's just like any other social media platform. Anything you take pictures on or video, they do give you the option. There's vintage, and there's a couple different ones if you scroll, if you want to kind of make it pink. But we'll just leave it at do, and we'll go ahead, and that's going to be for the first clip, or second clip I should say there. So that's with a filter on that second one there. So moving on there, we've learned a little bit about the filter. The next thing, and I haven't done a lot with this kind of stuff, even in my own videos, we're going to move on to the effect. So if you look at the bottom, you can kind of like go back in time here. And if you look, you can put a little portion of the video where it kind of looks like a VHS. So it's, you know, a VHS when you had some kind of a VHS in your, or, you know, your tape recorder, you would actually see something like this when it would play. So you can just add these little effects in there, and then you'd obviously hit the check mark, and that's actually going to put it into the video. So if that's your own personal preference in doing that, you can also adjust the, if you see the little purple box there, if you wanted to do it for a certain amount of time, we'll just add it in to see how it actually works. So we'll just play it. And you can kind of see, you know, as if a tape was actually going to change, or it was older, maybe it was a little worn out or got crinkled or something. You can add them kind of effects in there. So we'll go back here. And if you see, to get back, there's more stuff in here to obviously adjust the effects. There's range, replace, delete, and copy. So there's different things you can do there. But if you go back, you see the little arrow on the left-hand side. It's pointing down. It's kind of like a gray box with a little arrow pointing down. We'll click on that. And that's going to bring back to all the screen functions here that we were talking about. So next, we're going to move right on to the text. So text, obviously, as it speaks, you can actually add something. So we'll just say subscribe, and we'll add that. And then the next option, it's actually going to give you an option to put it in different colors. So you can go ahead and click the color there, and you can see there's a ton of different fonts. So we'll just click this one. Now we'll just say, I'm going to try to pick something that I'm actually going to use for my next one, something that actually looks like you can see it. So we'll pick that one. We'll pick red, and there's a few other little options there, but that's the basic of fonts. So we'll hit check mark, and then again, there's actually in the beginning of the video, so you'll have a duration that you can actually play it. So as soon as you hit play, it's going to play it for that duration that you click on the blue with the arrow, and how long it's going to last. So moving on here, we will go back to the next one. We're going to say, go to sticker. So obviously there's all these little emojis and stickers you can pick from the get-go. So just say you want to add this cleaning icon, you will click that. And these are kind of some of the ones that they give you. If you scroll to the right and kind of see there, it'll give you different ones. If you want something neon, if you want something hearts, love, and we'll just back up a little bit there. Oh, actually clicked off it, so let's go back to that. So we'll just go back here, and you get effects, emojis. So all these little things, depending on what you want to pick, if you want to just spruce your video up a little bit. You know, you say you talk about something small, you've got that there. You can go back and you get stickers on the bottom, GIFs. And you can actually also search. So let's just say happy. Oh, let's spell it right first. And we'll click on GIFs. So if you want to add something, if any of you watched any of my videos, you might see me throw one of these in once in a while. You can just kind of throw this guy in here. You can slide him where you want. You can adjust how big he's going to be and how straight it's going to be. And you just hit the check mark. And again, you can adjust the duration of that. So depending on how long you want it to actually be in your video, you watch this. He comes up. That's so long in the video. And then also, while we're actually speaking about it, so if you make a mistake and you want to kind of reverse without trying to go back and figuring out how to edit it and get it out of there. So if you look at this, if you look at the back arrow, and I'm hoping you can see it, so it's actually the only arrow in the middle of the screen. It's a left. It's a black back arrow, and there's another faded gray arrow next to it. So if you want to go backwards, you hit that, and it's going to undo whatever you previously made. So if you want to undo that and say even this heart, say I didn't like all three of them, you'll go ahead and you'll hit that, and that'll go back. So next thing we're talking about, and I got to actually click on it to make sure I'm right, if I recall, if I've even used it. So the PIP. So if you want to go to your own photos, like I just got an ink cartridge here, we'll just click on this to give you an example. So if you got some of your own photos and you want to share them, again, you have the adjustment on the screen. You can tilt it, you can make it large, you can flip it. There's all different options to do with that. So if we want to keep that there, and of course there's the duration of how long your picture is going to stay on there. So that's what PIP is, and we'll just kind of put that in there, and you can see it stays and plays. And again, we'll just back out, and we'll just get out of there, undo it, and we'll undo it once more. So that's picture, I guess picture in picture is what I want to say is PIP is. So moving on, the next thing in the video, and again, these are just the basics. You know, there's a lot more detail on a lot of these things. So next we'll move on to the speed. So the speed is pretty self-explanatory right here. Say you got a video, maybe a little drone footage. You know, drones speed is about 32 to 30, I think it's like 30 to 32 miles an hour. If there's something you kind of want people to see a little quicker and you want it to move along, you can just speed the video up. So if you want to go like 4 times, if you look at that, you got to be careful sometimes though with the speed, because it tends to make the video, it just kind of move not so smooth. It can move and kind of shift a little bit, kind of like it's shaken. So you have to use the variation of the speed carefully if you slow it down too much, but it is there, and you can make minor adjustments with the speed. And again, you got the check mark on the right hand side, and you'll click it, and that will add the speed into that video. So BG, in all honesty, I've actually got to click on it to familiarize myself with it. Oh, so yeah, BG is actually so it's going to be the sizing of the video, and it looks like on this one specifically, you're going to want the original size, and I couldn't tell you really on the ratios and what you're going to want, and it probably depends on what it's being watched on too and how it's going to look, the quality and things like that. So it's not something you really have to worry too much about in the beginning, unless you see like a little bit of fade on the top and the left, or the top and the bottom, or the left and right. If you see a little bit of fade and your video is not filling the whole entire screen, then you may have to work with that. But you also keep in mind that depending on what you have, 1080p and the size of the video is going to play into interaction with this also. So we'll back up here, and I'm not going to really play with it too much. So record. If you want a voiceover, so I'm not even going to click on it because I'm actually speaking on it right now, but if you want a voiceover, if you got a bunch of videos and you just want to talk, kind of like what I'm doing with recording my screen on my phone, you'd actually be recording the screen on the app, and you just hit the record button. And then you also have the option of the volumes. It's going to vary the volumes between the different things that you do, and you can also flip and I haven't even experienced this or fooled around with it too much, but let's just see. So you can actually rotate your videos. So maybe if you caught something at the wrong angle or it was upside down, you can flip it and make it on the correct angle. Flip again. This is going to be another new one to me. I'm actually learning it. So, okay, so it can actually flip from side to side, which is actually pretty nifty. So I didn't even know that could happen. And you can crop it. You can make it a different size. But again, you've got the basics in there. And Q&A, I'm not even really sure. I would say it's question and answer. So we'll go ahead and we'll go back, and we'll just show you in the drafts. So if we want to go to the one that I was just fooling, we'll click at the top, and we've got this video if you set it aside for later. And that's pretty much it for the basics. So hopefully this is, if somebody's basically starting out on a phone, this was one of the video apps that I just found that was editing apps, I should say, that was pretty simple, and it just worked really good. So Again, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how it worked out. Subscribe to my channel. I'll check out yours. And again, if you're out there and you're flying drones, this is a perfect video editing app. Until next time.